Okay, so this is just some food for thought. You can disagree with me if you want, but this is something that people were asking me when I was streaming, so I'm deciding to talk about it because I thought it was interesting. And they asked me, how would I nerf Resurrect Priest if I were nerfing Resurrect Priest? And I don't want to nerf it to the point where it's not playable anymore. I want to nerf it to the point where its mechanic makes sense. Resurrect Priest, being able to resurrect subsequent copies of resurrected minions, doesn't make sense to me. What I think it should do, I don't want to go against 12 convincing infiltrators that not only are hard to get over because they have 6 health and not a ton of, I have to trade a ton of minions into it to kill it anyway, but then they also kill my minions. I don't think that playing Convincing Infiltrator, then playing after it dies, Psychopomp, Convincing Infiltrator with Reborn, then also Reborn Convincing Infiltrator, I don't think that should get 3 of them in the Reborn or the Resurrection pool. It should be 1. It should be the initial card that was just played, because that is the card that is being resurrected. I haven't played World of Warcraft in a very long time, so maybe I'm off base with this, but if you are playing in a dungeon with a guild, and you resurrect a teammate, right? All well and good. But then, let's say, you're doing a thing, and you mass resurrect them as well after, like, a team wipe, and then you go out of the aggro zone, you come back, and you resurrect your team or whatever. You don't end up resurrecting a copy of the person you resurrected, and then that person. Like, it is the singular player that you are resurrecting, and that card is the singular card you are resurrecting. You don't get multiple in the pool. And I think that the other card where you have a death rattle to get 2 copies of that minion breaks Card-Tut Defender. Basically, by doing that, you get 6 Card-Tut Defenders in your pool immediately. Because you get the 1, then the Reborn, and then the 2 copies that you get that also have Reborn. So you'll never die after that if you play Mass Resurrection later. Or you could put it on Convincing Infiltrator and get, again, 3 copies immediately after that. And it also makes counterplay to it a lot worse. Because, like, say you polymorph or hex something. Well, that's great. You hexed 1 thing. But they have 12 Convincing Infiltrators in the Resurrection pool. So what little counterplay you have to interact with that deck is essentially nullified. Because they can just dilute the pool with a ton of other minions that have also been resurrected. That's just my belief. I think that the card that is played is the only card that should be resurrected once it has died. I don't think copies of the card should count as cards that can be resurrected. They're like images. They are mirages of the card that has died. That's just my take. Or even not mirages. They are literally the card that died being played again, not another copy, right? That's just my 2 cents on it. You guys can disagree, but I think that would make the class a lot more balanced. I think it would make it a lot more interactive and fun to play against, and it wouldn't allow you to rely on cheese to win. And you might just say, like, this guy's just a complainer who hates the class. I will admit, I am biased. I do hate the class. I do think that it's very unfun to play against, but I don't think that Resurrection Priest in general is inherently bad. I think the way that it is designed now is bad. Also, according to Vicious Syndicate, it's the most powerful deck from ranks 4 to 1, which is not great, and I don't necessarily dislike, like I said, the resurrection mechanic in general. I think that it's a kind of cool thing. I think that it allows you to play big minions and then resurrect them for cheaper, theoretically, if you're able to get them out and have them die, and I'm okay with, like, somehow reducing the cost of it in your hand and playing it and then resurrecting it, and then when you resurrect it, it resurrects it at its, like, base cost and everything and all that. But I don't like having copies be also resurrectable or revivable. That's definitely the correct term. I don't like that. I think that it's unhealthy. But anyway, I hope this starts a conversation. See ya.